agenda for today is to view this movie which is made by Shimano. Toyota actually sponsored the whole movie. They produced as being an advertisement partner for it. The 7 pillars were used as the first management film that was made in our country. So when it was made, when Shimano did not know how to do it, they go about it, but they liked the concept. And if you want later on, I can take you to the producers, talk and the directors coming and now, 7 pillars, we have 7 dignitaries here. Now, what they did is they converted it into a fiction. So it's a fictional movie where we see a small boy, a young boy who's joining the organization, and then how he uses the 7 pillars in the organization. So, rather than me talking much, let the movie talk about it. What we'll do is after every pillar is discussed, I want you all to take down points on what you see as a learning from each of the pillars which will come. And then eventually we keep discussing what are the points which you think are different and are more important from each pillar point of view. We set our concept here for the whole program as the 7 pillars. What are the 7 pillars? What each pillar means? How it is important. As the program progresses, we will get into each of the pillar on a single take. But here in today's session, we will do all the 7 pillars together so that we know what the basics of each of the pillars is. So let's start the movie first, and I will stop doing each of the pillar after each of the pillar, and we'll keep discussing.
Chanakya lived in 4th century BC in India. Born to a teacher, Rishi Chanakya, also known as Kautilya and Vishnugupta, grew to become a teacher and then an economist, political thinker, warfare expert, minister and master strategist. He is the author of the ancient Indian political treatise called Arthashastra, containing 6,000 sutras which has guided rulers for centuries to govern a kingdom based on sound economic and spiritual principles. The Arthashastra continues to be of relevance in contemporary times in business and life. The desire to learn and contribute in the spaces we live and work in lies in every one of us. This is the story of one of us.
Yes, I am. And I am going to catch you soon. Yes, I am. She drew these names. It almost looks like a painting. And that's all I did. I just look out my car. Sometimes I just felt like a new perspective on things. There's some magic in travel, Chief. I've got to do more of it. But I'm really glad I did this before starting this project.
So am I.
It's like you said, you gain new perspective, which is why I insisted that we start after you come back. So, ready for game time?
Blow the whistle. Let's go.
Super. First, some warm-up and coach talk. I'll start with company history, most of which you know. Company was founded about 12 years ago. Mobile content service providers started off small, now we're roughly 120 crores, blah, blah, blah. Rest you can read on our website. But that's not critical to this game that we're warming up for, except as context. Now, brace yourself. This is the main part. That's why I like you.
प्रदीपः सर्वविद्यानाम् उपायः सर्वकर्मणाम् आश्रयः सर्वधर्माणाम् शाश्वत आण्विक्षिकी मता। बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है सर ये वाला फाइल। कंटिन्यू बाद में चल रहा है। अभी पूरा समझ में नहीं आया है, लेकिन वर्किंग प्रोग्रेस चालू है। आता हूँ सर, रेगुलर टाइम पे, डाउट है।
बिल्कुल। Thank you, Manu.
What is this special tuitions for Manu?
Hey, he's got a mind, keen to learn, so I said, what the hell, have a ball.
You're a strange man, Chief.
Tip of the iceberg, boy, or just tip of the iceberg. Anyway, come on, let's get back to where we were. Now, the thing is, we're beginning to stagnate. Not in terms of business or growth. You see, the thing is that sometimes when you grow so fast, so quickly, it gets
Out of control.
exactly. So we need to make sure that we grow personally, because without that, the business growth will run aground sooner or later. Now I'm using Indian here, but we need to get wiser as we get wealthier.
With you.
Now I'm not talking about the run-of-the-mill skill building, motivation, leadership kind of stuff. But what we need does involve these things.
Okay.
Now there's no alarm anywhere except for the one in my hand, and that alarm is saying that this is not our potential.
And there's a gap.
Right.
But that is normal.
Of course.
Okay.
We don't need any quick fixes. No fires, no fire engines. All we need is a new construct. Construct! That's the word, construct. I like it, a new construct. A new way of thought. You know, it's like how sometimes a ray of light hits you with the providential insight or ancient wisdom.
Ancient wisdom.
Sure, there's so much out there, literally a gold mine. What if we could just dig it all up and match it to our needs, bring a new perspective? It's like unlocking the energy within to do everything we want to. Any questions so far?
Only one. Why me?
That question needs to be answered by you for yourself. As far as my bit goes, well, I I think you're ready. I've been watching you for a while. There's something very, very compelling about you. It's just that I'm reading a frequency here, and I think you're ready. Are you ready?
As ready can get.
That's my boy. Give me 5. I'll be ready. Ready? Let me get it. Ready? You be there. I'll be there. Awesome. Now get out of here. I got work to do.
Okay. Thanks, Chief.
Lazy guy. पागल है लेकिन अच्छा पागल है. The kind that changes the world.
Construct, Chief. Tried everything, but nothing's working out.
Check your premise. Remember what I told you at the start? This isn't run of the mill.
I know that, Chief.
Stop thinking run of the mill. Think breathways, sideways, far and wide.
Yeah, but my eyes are wide open, Chief.
Well, then maybe you're seeing things the way you've always seen them.
So how does one change that?
Exactly the question you're trying to answer with the construct, boy. Hey, do you believe in science?
I believe in everything, Chief.
Great, problem solved. You'll crack it.
Rome wasn't built in a day and all that, Chief. Time is the key and I'm running out.
Well, listen, so am I. Try 7 days. 1 key a day. And you're through.
Fastest 200 calories I've ever burnt. Quickest problem solving session ever. Least insight achieved. Science? कहाँ है science? All I can see is an unblinking red sign on my face. Is anyone up there? Can you help me? I like a new construct. Ooh, construct. I like the sound of that word. Boy, oh, you will give me the construct. Oh, boy, बेटे, ready. Okay. कहाँ फंस गया यार? Chief, this is your idea of a bad joke.
I wanted.
Who? Who are you?
I wanted Chanakya to be thinking, which is why I told him Anvikshiki.
Anvikshiki? Anvikshiki? Kautilya. Kautilya equals Chanakya. Chanakya equals ancient wisdom, equals new perspective for construct. Signs, these are the signs. I want that book. Anvikshiki is the viewing of sciences in the light of reason. It does good to the world, keeps the mind steady in well and woe alike, best of skill in knowledge, speech and action. Mr. Radha Krishnan Pillai, my gateway to Chanakya. Here I come.
Hi Amir, I'm glad that you have started on a journey to discover Chanakya's teachings. It is literally a gold mine.
Literally a gold mine. I actually wanted to know the relevance of Chanakya in the contemporary context. And I want to create a construct, which people from any field of work can relate to and adapt within themselves.
Chanakya's teachings are relevant universally. What you need to do is set the right context and leave the gems in the open field.
So how do I set that context?
There is a reason why Chanakya was called the kingmaker. So here is the starting point. What is a king? In the strictest sense of the word, the king is not relevant today. But each one of us is a king in our own kingdoms, in our own world.
Okay, so if each one of us is a king, that means that our office may be a kingdom. And by that I don't mean restricting ourselves to geographical boundaries. Something that encompasses all the employees, all the transactions with their physical, psychological and behavioral aspects.
Absolutely right. But it is also about Anvikshiki.
Anvikshiki. Sir, I've read about that term. Could you please tell me a little bit more about it?
Anvikshiki is a science of thinking as given by Chanakya in the Arthashastra. He says, thinking is the foundation, the base for every action.
So, sir, no matter where a person is on the hierarchy, here or here, if he is the king, this is his kingdom, right?
Absolutely correct. Fantastic. So, each one of us is a king in his own kingdom. It is how we govern it, how we rule it. We can actually make it or break it.
Sir, but how do these principles that apply to the kingdom apply to us individually?
There is a model, a context in the Arthashastra called as the Saptanga, the 7 pillars of a kingdom. They are Swami, Amatya, Janapada, Durga, Kosha, Danda and Mitra. The Arthashastra has got 15 books. And in the 6th book of Arthashastra, Chanakya talks about this sutra. In the olden days, when students used to go to the Gurukula, they used to study the Arthashastra or the science of how to govern a kingdom. And as you are learning the Arthashastra, in between, the student asks themselves, what am I doing? Oh, I've been trained to become a king. So, what is a kingdom? And in the 6th book of Arthashastra, right in between, the first sutra comes. Swami Amatya Janapada Durga Kosha Danda Mitra Itti Prakriteya. The students understand these 7 pillars and they go and rule the kingdom.
Thank you so much for this, sir. You showed me a path and now I just have to embark on my journey.
But remember, Amir, it's also about Vriddha Sanyoga.
So, what is that?
Learning by meeting the real life experts. They will show you the way. All the best, Amir, on a great journey ahead.
It's just that he's turned out to be faster than the whole thing. No, not to you. There's a ball boy in my office. No, yeah, so where were we? Oh, no, you're right, yeah. There's no doubting that there is the enthusiasm and the effort, but, well, let's see. What time shows us, huh? Yeah, hey, by the way, when are you off to Germany? Ah, right. No, listen, tell me about this. I carry the list with you. Okay. Okay, great. Anyway, you tell me when you get back, yeah? Okay, bye now. हाँ भाई बताओ क्या क्वेश्चन है?
The Saptanga, the seven pillars of a kingdom. They are Swami, Amartya, Janapada, Durga, Kosha, Danda, and Mitra. What?
Quick, are we all on the same track?
Yes.
So what did we see? What did we, few things which happened? Where are we? Few new words, few new terms. Anvikshaki, seven. What is seven pillar in Sanskrit? Sapta Anga. It is seven limbs. If I have to do actual translation. Right? So what's happening so far? Anyone wants to quickly brief me? Are you on track? Amir just came back from Ladakh. Give a new perspective. Yes. Yes. So the company is doing well. He's saying we have no problem with profitability. We have no issues about business. Okay. But we need to have a new perspective. And the word he used particularly was we need to have a new construct. And then they said we are looking at a lot of Western models, but we have a lot of wisdom in our own ancient knowledge. Right? So let's go back and try and find out. He's trying to find out some kind of a construct. And then his word you figure out, Anvikshiki. Our next lecture will be on Anvikshiki. And Arthashastra's first sutra is Anvikshiki Traivata Danta Niti Chedivita. Anvikshiki is the first word Kautilya uses in Arthashastra. Right? And Anvikshiki means science of thinking. Right? So everything is about the way we think. Right? The difference between someone who is a laborer or a peon in our office and someone who is the chairman or the CEO of the company is the way they think. Or the person who is working as a laborer is doing much more hard work than what the CEO is doing. Right? But the way they think. So Anvikshiki is the way of thinking a king needs to do. Right? The way of thinking what leaders need to have. That it's a very subtle thing where the way you think will change the way you are perceived or change the way you behave, change the way things around you will move. So we'll do a complete lecture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go Shubha Joshi ma'am. She was the head of Department of Philosophy in Political Science Department. In Philosophy Department. And we'll take it more even from the concept point of view what Anvikshiki is. What our scriptures talk about Anvikshiki in that particular. So we do the modern way of understanding Anvikshiki and we also do the, I would say, the Shastra's way. What is written in the Shastra, what Anvikshiki is, what philosophy of thinking is when she comes. So here we start Sapta Anga, 7 pillars. Anyone who's noted down or remembers the 7th pillar by heart? Vandamitra. Iti Prakriteya. This is the whole sutra. Right? Book 6, first chapter, first sutra. So when say Iti Prakriteya is nature. Right? So at the end of the whole exercise, we will try and put these 7 pillars in all contexts. Whether it's your business, it's a college, whether it's your family, it's a political party, it's a cricket team, it's a movie being produced, or anyway, anything that comes to your mind, we'll try and put the 7 pillars in that context and see how it is the nature. Right? The 7 pillars will cover everything about a particular business or a kingdom or whatever you are, a family. Starting with first one. So the first person talking about leader is here and we'll start with that. So Narayan Murthy is...
Boom! This is great! Bark of an opening! 2020 style, is it? Yeah, you go calm down.
So it feels like a dream sitting here in front of you. I have to pinch myself before I start. It is real indeed. Sir Chanakya wrote at length about Swami, there is a leader. 2,500 years later, what do you see as the critical attributes of a leader in the current and future business context?
Leadership is about transformation. Transformation is big ticket progress. Therefore, a leader is primarily a change agent. He or she has the responsibility to bring about big transformation. Leadership is all about making people more confident, more hopeful, making people say, I will walk on water for you. So therefore, leadership is about making people think of what we all think is impossible and then make it happen.
So as a leader, how do you bring out the best in your people?
People are always watching a leader. People always want to do things that are extraordinary because they want to raise their self-esteem. Therefore, the best instrument that a leader has in making people achieve the possibly impossible, in making people give off their best, is through leadership by example. First, you have to create a vision, you have to create an objective that is extraordinary, that is noble, that is what raises the self-esteem of everybody. Then, because this whole journey is all about sacrifice, it's all about commitment, it's all about effort, gratification, the leader has to gain the trust of the people, because it's not certain that you will indeed reach the objective. It's not certain that you will indeed get the rewards. Therefore, they have to implicitly trust the leader. And if they want to implicitly trust the leader, then the leader has to demonstrate genuineness. Therefore, walking the talk, practicing the precept becomes extremely important. There are certain time invariant and context invariant attributes. They are your honesty of purpose, your courtesy, your discipline, your commitment, your aspirations, your value system, your steadfastness. These cannot vary when you go from objective to objective. But the journey may be different.
So how do you as a leader learn constantly without being intrusive in what others are doing?
I believe that openness to new ideas, meritocracy, that means evaluating every idea by the merits of the idea, are extremely important if you want new ideas to seep into the organization. If you want every member of the organization to participate enthusiastically about building the organization, about making a difference to the organization. And that's how you become enriched. So as long as you raise the confidence of people, as long as you raise the enthusiasm of people in bringing new ideas to the table, then you become a magnet for attracting great ideas, and therefore you become the recipient of hundreds of ideas.
So what was the most difficult challenge you had to deal with as a leader?
Well, the most difficult thing is accepting your own weakness. The most difficult thing is to stand up and say, I was wrong, you were right. The most difficult thing is overcoming one's ego. The most difficult thing is to say that, look, I may be the number one person, but the success of this organization is not just because of me, it is because of all of us.
So how does a leader ensure that his actions and words are perceived as they're intended to be and genuine?
Leadership is about trust. You making people accept huge sacrifices. For that to happen, people must have implicit trust in you. And if they have to have implicit trust in you, then you must conduct yourself in a way that you are seen as genuine. And that genuineness comes through walking the talk, through practicing the precept. We are all measured by the results of our action. Nobody knows what is in my mind. Nobody knows what is in my heart. However, you will know what I did. That's it. So therefore, we are only as good as our actions. As long as you do what you say, then you will automatically become genuine and people will trust you, and therefore people will indeed walk behind you or walk with you.
So, it's been such a great beginning for me to start my journey by meeting you. I just hope the rest of my journey is as insightful as this has been. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
To be ever ready for action and lead by example is the oath of a king. And efficient administration is his daily ritual.
Now for the time, and I'll have earned my supper tonight.
Oh, you more man. Shuru kar. Sorry, come on in. Want some salad?
That's your bed, you sleep on it. The new content proposal. Are we sticking to the main route?
What do you think?
Well, it's going to light a lot of fires, not just internal, but also in back end. It's a paradigm shift.
True that.
But it's cutting edge, what we stand for.
True that.
Have you made any commitments to clients?
Yeah, but I can move that around.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. We'll do that. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Thanks, Chief.
Alright.
इसको घर भेजो 2 दिन से यहीं है चलो good night.
See you, man. Have a good one.
Well, I was reading Daniel Goleman, and what he says is what sets apart the good leader from a great leader is the emotional intelligence. I mean, it isn't that analytical and technical intelligence isn't valued, but what really picks is the emotional intelligence. And what constitutes emotional intelligence is self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills.
Listen, let's hold our horses here, right? There's no need to add to the gyan already here. Instead, dig deeper. Find real-life stuff to draft your construct. Yeah? Don't go with stuff that people have already seen or heard before. You with me? With what I'm saying? Find personal examples. Those will work. Trust me. क्या हुआ? Lost in transition?
Hey Chief, you were telling me that things come to you at the right time. So I was talking to this B-school friend of mine today, who's an investment banker in New York. And he's going to come down here and take a year-long break from work to do something completely off the charts. And by completely, I mean completely, Chief. He's got this musician friend who was a senior in high school. And this guy, he'd been traveling for 8 years, going from state to state and living in these remote tribal areas. And he forms like a musical network. And what he does is he lives in a place for 6 months to a year and he learns the local tribal or folk music. And then he teaches my kids some musical instruments. And then at the end he collaborates with all of them to create these musical albums. I mean, I say albums because a musical company just bought them, but till now he was just going around performing these sounds everywhere. And he's just been creating these pieces and playing them at different places. And over the past few years, a lot of musicians have come forward to contribute to his cause. They've been taking workshops, helping him with funds to sort of continue his quest. And my friend is actually coming down here to help him set up a musical school. And I asked him why, and he said, I just spent 20 minutes with that guy and that was it. एक डायलॉग है ना लक्ष्य चीफ जब कैप्टन सेज दैट जब ये टाइगर ऐसे बात करता है तो जी चाहता है कि उसके लिए कुछ भी कर दूं. So this is the kind of feel that guy has when you talk to him. Isn't that leadership, chief?
Totally. I mean, that's inspirational stuff, man. People walking on water for one man's vision. Amazing. Hey, Kankara, why do you see how we can collaborate, partner with this friend of yours. I'd really love to.
I will, pakka.
Great.
God, I talk a lot, no?
You think so?
Damn thirsty.
राजानं उत्थितम् अनुत्तिष्ठन्ते भृत्याः प्रमाद्यन्तम् अनुप्रमाद्यन्ति कर्माणि चास्य भक्षयन्ति।
प्रभु, इसका अर्थात समझाते जाइए। Is Manu also on this project?
Well, he's working on his, and you're working on yours. Net effect, growth.
What foresight you have, Chief. Hang on. Chief, this is very precious. Mr. Murthy gave this to me.
Oh.
Leadership. Leader. What have you learned? Points, speeches, observations.
It is about transformation. You should be responsible. You should be very down to earth, accepting the change. You should be enough to always what he says, listen to new ideas, accept his own thought. What else? You have to play the vision.
Transformation, ready to accept change, listening,
helping people to come out, give their best.
helping people.
You have to accept the weakness.
Accept, is talking about accepting, listening. Listen, trust all the people around. Who is a leader? More. What did you hear? Narayan Murthy.
You can walk the talk.
Walk the talk. Don't just see him, just see him. What he says he should do.
Magnet for ideas.
Overcome ego. Right? You accept that it is wrong and it's wrong. Be genuine.
Make them confident. Make his people confident.
Make his people confident. What kind of confidence?
Confidence to
by accepting their ideas.
What example?
evaluating every idea.
Evaluating every idea. What kind of confidence?
That they can deliver the impossible or deliver the idea, whatever the target is or whatever the focus is, they will be able to deliver what they think is impossible.
It's impossible.
Walking on water.
Walking on water. Yeah, that is what I was looking for. Should make people believe that I can walk on water. Inspirational, can you say that word? You can inspire people. Is a leader doing everything or is making people do everything?
He's also doing it.
He's also doing it, right? So leadership by example. So
By action.
by action. Yeah. So he himself, first of all, has self-recognition by walk the talk. What he says, he does. So people will believe, people will trust that person. He has to listen, I'm rightly said. Take feedbacks. So I said that same thing. Put down the ego. Even if it's wrong, yes, I'm wrong. Let's do it. What next? Right? Emotional intelligence. We spoke about emotional intelligence. So these are the qualities of a leader. We're talking of someone who is heading an organization. Narayan Murthy in particular. The person is so important that even after he's retired and he's gone, he still doesn't want to do anything. The board keeps calling him. And I would call that person, I don't know if you've seen any other interview of Narayan Murthy. So there was a reporter who went to Narayan Murthy's quarters and they sat in a canteen for some kind of snacks. And Narayan Murthy actually removed his wallet and paid for what he he had bought. So I think if he had bought a dosa or something, then he paid for the dosa. So that's the kind of thing we talk about. Narayan Murthy still stays in that flat of his. He and his wife still drive the same car. So Sudha Murthy again, she by herself is doing a lot of social activities. Rohan Murthy, his son, right? And I love Rohan Murthy for this particular thing he's doing. He's trying to digitalize all the scriptures that we have. So all this, starting from Arthashastra, Ramayana, Mahabharata, just tip of the iceberg, everything that we have. So Rohan is on a project where he wants to digitalize everything. So all the books, all the knowledge that we have, he's working on that project. But again, what kind of leadership are we talking? Right? There's a purpose, there's a vision. And they know what they want to do. This is the purpose of vision, just to earn my salary at the end of the day. Right? It is not. It's probably how many people I can make earn, how many houses I can make earn, how many jobs I can create. So that's the leader. Leader is thinking way beyond.
One more is object to objective.
Sorry, sir?
This is then object to objective.
Object to object. Yeah. So he's having an objective in life. It's not an object which he's running, and there's an objective which he's running. Right? So object can be, I want to earn, say, make this much percentage profit at the end of the year. This year, my end of the year, my balance sheet should be this kind of numbers. That can be an object, but an objective can be way bigger than that.
Objective should be extraordinary.
Objective should be extraordinary. At times, people at times will be saying it's impossible. Alright, and the leader should inspire these people to believe that it is not impossible, it is possible, we will do it. That's the kind of leader. Next, we talk of Dr. Santosh Mishra. I don't know how many people know of him. Anyone who knows about Dr. Santosh Mishra? Right. Kumar Mangalam Billa's right, left hand, right leg, left leg, whatever you call it. Person who runs Aditya Birla inside out. So, again, we know Kumar Mangalam Billa is one of the youngest chairmen in our country, right? So, people know it, right? People know what Kumar Mangalam Billa? Are we there? Okay. Santosh Mishra works very closely. The person who transformed Aditya Birla from what it is to what it was to what it is today. He's the right man, the right hand man to Kumar Mangalam Billa. Now, Amartya is the manager, he's not the owner of the business. Right? But remember, Amartyas are Swamis in themselves for their own organization. Right? So, for example, Aditya Birla, if we take that, Aditya Birla has say 300 companies. So, all this head of 300 companies report into Kumar Mangalam. Right? So, Kumar Mangalam Birla is a Swami. The head of 300 companies are the Amartyas. But for that particular company, if you have to take glass and cement, let's take an example, or Idea Telecom. The head of that company becomes the Swami for that company. Right? So every Amartya is Amartya to his Swami. Right? But he's also a Swami for his own arm. In fact, when we look into organizations also, right? So if there's one company, there's a finance head, there's a marketing head, there's an operations head, there's HR head. Right? But these people by themselves, head of department, are department Swamis of their own department as well. That is what we have to understand. It's a cycle. Everyone reports to someone.
You can say advisory also.
Sorry?
So the advisory?
Advisor, he's not an advisor. In fact, we'll see, managers are people who actually make things happen. They are the implementers. Operation. They are the ones to make sure that the targets are achieved. They are the one, the second in command. Right? In fact, I don't know if you've seen this movie Independence Day. And the president has to take a call. What to do next? Because these aliens are attacking him. And there's an army general who is there. And then there is this deputy. He says, I don't want the deputy general's idea, I want the deputy's idea. And then he explains why. He says the deputies are the one who are actually on their feet and implementing things. Right? Generals are just sitting in their offices and directing. So managers are the second in command. They are the ones who are responsible for what they are doing. Leader might just direct. His idea is to go walk on water. How? That is what the manager will.
So Amartya are also Swamis.
Yes.
So there are many Amartyas also because there is one and then so everyone is a Swami for the next lower.
Everyone can be Swami for. So team leader, I would say as small as a team leader. A supervisor can also be Swami for his team. Right? Father in a family is the head of the family, the Swami of the family as well. As I said, just 7 pillars are 7 elements. It's nature. You will find the 7 constituents in any kind of structure. So the father in a family is the Swami of the family. Right? So as small as it can get. Right? Let's look at Sandeep Mishra next.
Dr. Mishra, history is replete with examples of high-profile ministers like Birbal for Akbar and Tenali Rama for Krishna Raya, and in more contemporary times, Hillary Clinton for Obama and Steve Ballmer for Bill Gates. So, what do you think a leader expects from an ideal minister?
The CEO or the king's role is to ensure that there's welfare of everyone. So the outcomes are important, and the outcome for a king or a CEO or someone in leadership role would always be results. And results defined as efficient administration. What needs to be done done in time, done well. That the fabric of a society, a kingdom, an empire, a business organization, a trust, always lies in how you do things, not just what you did. Have you been fair? Have you been objective? Did you take all the facts into account? It is about the qualities that the leader expects from the minister. Because your process depends on the personal qualities and personality that you bring into play.
What are the most crucial characteristics of a successful amartya or a minister?
Well, there will be many, but there are some that are at the core of it. The first one is loyalty. Loyalty both to the leader and to the organization of the state. And the two are inseparable. Second is objectivity. And that is extremely important. Because whatever you are doing, you are representing the leader or the king or the chief executive. People are seeing through you whatever you are doing as words or deeds or indications or actions or directions of the leader, the king or the chief executive. So the objectivity of it, that you have been fair, that you have taken all considerations into account, that's very crucial. The third one is judgment. Because the minister is always expected to execute projects, take decisions, make choices. That requires judgment. Judgment about what's right and wrong, what is reliable, what is long-term, what is short-term. So you need to bring a superior sense of judgment to everything. The fourth one is knowledge, because one of the decisions one takes is so complex that you need to be reasonably versatile with your knowledge component to be able to address a range of things. And finally, of course, you need a tremendous sense of energy, because if you look at today's organizations, they have become extremely complex. The problems are complex. The expectations of your stakeholders are very high. So the minister needs to bring in a tremendous sense of energy into doing whatever one is doing. And lastly, and I think that is an important characteristic that is emerging, and that's a more temperamental, mental quality that you need to bring in, which is, can you maintain calm, equanimity in the face of extremely stressful situations? The relationship between the minister and the leader primarily, first of all, has to be one of trust. The trust has many nuances. For example, the leader must feel confident that the minister is all the time vigilant. Now that's a key part of the trust. That I should not be caught by surprise with something that I did not know. And my minister will either bring it to my attention or will have attended to it.
So is it every amartya Swami himself, or do you distinctly separate these two roles? And where do you draw the line?
When two people always agree on the same thing, then one is redundant. You need a minister as a conscience keeper, somebody who holds the mirror, who brings the counterintuitive point of view, a contrarian point of view that enhances the quality of decision. So you and the minister, you the leader and minister are one and the same as far as the goal and the agenda is concerned. But there are aspects of it. Until you arrive at the goal or the agenda, the minister needs to be able to step back, keep himself separate, to be able to be of value to the leader. So the value the minister creates for the leader, or how valuable he is dependent on how well does he understand when to be part of him, when to be not to be part of him, when not to be part of him. So making those choices at the right moment is the process of value creation for the leader by the minister.
If for every Swami there's an Amartya within an organization, how do you identify and breed potential Swamis and Amartyas?
He has to identify high potential people, talent, as he implements, executes projects to identify people who are capable, and make sure that he builds the next generation of ministers. If you look at Chanakya's Arthasastra and the way Chanakya came across Chandragupta, itself is an interesting story. That Chandragupta, it seems, used to play these games of on the street side under a tree, dispensing justice, solving problems with his friends as kids, pretending himself to be the king. And when Chanakya was passing by, he saw this young lad dispensing justice, taking decision, and he was inspired, and he felt that perhaps Chandragupta had in him the innate potential to replace the Nanda dynasty and become the king. So the minister has an innate ability to spot the latent talent of people and find ways of winning.
Said I'm on a quest today and you've answered all my questions, so thank you very much.
I hope so, but always remember that anybody who's searching for truth always understands that truth has many dimensions and truth is not unidimensional. So I hope that you continue to quest and find still better answers.
Rulership can be successfully carried out only with the help of associates. One wheel alone does not turn. Therefore, he should appoint ministers and listen to their opinion.
Right, Chief? And the conferencing at the back end. Looks like one hell of a fight. Yep. Aren't you going to go in? No. I'm not surprised. Seems like emotions are flying high at the moment.
Yeah. Commander seems to be having some trouble bringing his troops in.
This is great leadership. He's using the humor in the situation to bring his troops around. Tough job. And I think he's doing very well.
True that. Especially considering the fact that the top brass isn't in. I say the troops are not letting us miss them. They've really come into their own. Hang on. Slouching shoulders up. Smiles seem to be coming back on. So is that a breakthrough we're going to see? Yes, there is a breakthrough. So could this be victory? Ah, yes it is. Look at this now. For a time it seemed nothing was going to come out of this. But together they seem to pull this one out of their hats. Victory it is. Hey, ILG, what's the scene?
No scene. Solid. We're only on name.
Oh, great job. I told you, he's the man.
Learn from the best, Chief. Thanks.
No need to thank me, buddy. Have a good one. I'm off. Hold the fort. Tell the gang the treat's on me. You bet.
Wait, Badla, have you been filling some official forms lately? I mean, after you write the office address, when you come down to home address, do you write same as above? Sir, क्या sir? अबे घर जाना. चल, good night. Good night. Amartya, back to you. So the leader looks into the future and sets a direction, and the Amartya makes sure that they're headed there and corrects any possible deviations in the course. And what helps him do that is Jelko.
Judgment, energy, loyalty,
Composure
and objectivity.
and above all a sense of humor to be able to deal with those everyday battles and make sure they don't pull you down.
वाह बेटा, शाबाश, I'm impressed. अब इसी बात पर मुझे एक बढ़िया कप चाय बनवा दे, जल्दी, and with biscuits. Yeah.
You are the man, Chief Biscuits. Thank you.
Oh, you're okay.
Thanks, Chief. What would I do without you? Yeah.
Manager, Amatya. Most important thing to understand the difference between a leader and a manager. Are you able to differentiate here? There are a lot of MBA colleges, Masters in Business Administration, my Masters in Business Management. And that's why we started a course known as Leadership Sciences at Mumbai University. We said, what are your manager? We need to create leaders. So, what's the difference? And what is a manager do? What do administrators do? Ministers, Amatya, manager.
They set visions and goals.
They set visions and goals, or the leader sets the vision.
Leader sets vision and goals. Manager executing those.
The executors.
Or rather follows the vision and goals.
There are two things. If you see, Narayan Murthy gave a binocular. Right? So binocular where he saying, there is where I want to go. Leader will say that. And what did Santok Mishra give him? Compass. Direction. कैसे जाना है, कहाँ जाना है, क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है. Qualities of a good manager. Towards the leader and towards the people. There are two things which you need to understand. And I want you to think from a point of view that you might have to recruit a manager under you as well. So what would you look for? Someone who will be a good manager to you. What are the qualities of a manager? Arthashastra has exclusively 3 chapters written on Amatya Utpatti. How to select a manager. Having the right manager under you is very, very, very important. And what are the qualities you look for? Loyalty, most important. Loyal to the people. Leader as well as the organization. So if my leader changes, I'm still loyal to the organization.
Judgment,
Knowledgeable.
Judgment.
Okay. Knowledgeable. Why knowledgeable?
Leader comes across a lot of problems and he needs to have prior knowledge.
You have to
Yeah.
update
He
the
should be more
leaders.
equipped to solve the
Yeah.
problems.
See, one point you need to understand, as chairman of the company, Mukesh Ambani might not even know कि oil कैसे extract होता है या how does geo work. Right? But the Amatya under him who is heading the geo or RI in that particular manner must be an expert in that particular field. Right? So knowledge, and that person needs to be master of one, not a jack of all. Right? But understand here, leader can be a jack of all. Or probably leader needs to be a jack of all. You should know everything inside out. You should know how HR is running. You should know how marketing is running. You should know how finance is running. But there's someone else who is doing it for you. Masters are below them. Right? So a manager needs to be knowledgeable. Trustworthy, you said. What kind of trustworthy? What do you mean by trustworthy?
Show mirror. Can show mirror.
To the, yeah, that's a different thing. Show mirror to the leader. Right? So you don't want yes sir people under you as your managers. Everything yes sir. It is a day right now, it's a yes sir. We are in London right now, yes sir. Cannot happen, right? So you need someone.
And when should be part of your separate also?
Yeah, so the manager should know that. The manager and leader are together with the objective and what they want to accomplish. Now the goal are the same, right? But you should know when they are separate, right?
He said you should know when to be
Yeah.
when to be aligned together.
Another thing, trustworthy for what? Trustworthy means he should be always be ready and present and I would say
You have to set him a surprise.
vigilant is the word. He should always be alert.
And remain calm.
In what situations? Most stressful situations. Yeah. So balance of mind. Doesn't the leader need to be calm? You need to be calm, right? But manager is in a stressful situation because he's going to be responsible in it. Factory में आग लगी है, and the head of the factory needs to be there and he needs to manage the situation at that point.
Must have a good judgment.
Judgment. Energy.
Energetic.
Energetic. Why energetic? By example. People are going to look up to him. Temperament, again, same thing.
Ego and low when we always
Jaisa Raja Taisa Praja. So the leader. In fact, when we get into leader in particular, when we look at the qualities of a leader, Utsaha Vardhakaha, that's a word. Not that he has to be energetic. Vardhakaha, he has to be so energetic that he makes other people also. Utsaha Vardhak, he increases the enthusiasm of others. That's how a leader should. We'll come to that when we get into detailed qualities of a leader or manager. Are you able to differentiate leader kaun hai, manager kaun hai? Manager himself is also a leader. But there is minor difference in how they are functioning here. Good to go?
Both responsibilities are different.
Sorry?
The responsibilities are different.
Their responsibilities are different.
Goals are different.
Yeah, they implement.
Manager has to work for goals for leader.
So the captain of the ship is the leader or the manager?
Leader.
Who's the manager?
No, captain is the man.
Then who's the leader?
The owner of the ship.
Owner of the ship.
I feel there is more responsibility for the Amartya because he has to have the qualities of both the Swami, the leader, as well as the Amartya because the leader can still afford to have the leadership qualities, but he has to have both the roles because here he acts as a leader and in front of him he acts as a.
But if anything goes wrong, who will the world point out?
The responsible is the CEO, the leader.
The leader?
Yeah.
The street staff need to go to Modi kaisa.
Exactly.
We do that. I'm not criticizing, I'm not taking sides, but I'm saying leader always becomes responsible. So responsibility lies on the leader. It's like selecting the right manager under you is very, 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 very important. So we'll do that. We'll get into selection of manager. Amartya Utpatti is very important because you also need to check integrity of that person. How do you check integrity? How do you find out ways and means to, let's say Chanakya, how do you find out that the person is trustworthy or not? How do you find out that he is not doing anything? How do you find out that he is not siphoning out money from someone? We come to those things. That's Amartya. Next is Vinita Pal. Vinita Pali is marketing head for Britannia. That's where the biscuit came from. So Vinita Pali, marketing head. Janapada. Janapada means the people, right? If I'm looking from a political point of view, is the population, my vote bank. And if I'm looking from a marketing point of view, target market, the target audience. So these are the Janapada, my people whom I am going to address. These are the people who are going to be responsible, for whom I am going to be responsible. For a king is his praja. Let's see what Vinita Pali talks about.
Kids. Ma'am, this biscuit has followed me through my life. In my hostel days, this used to be the perfect midnight snack. And in a strange way, this has led me to meet you. So thank you so much for your time.
Well, I'm great. We connected over Britannia Mari biscuit.
Thanks, ma'am.
Yeah.
Chanakya said, Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. So in today's context, do you think the leader sets the tone or the trend, or is it that he or she responds to what the praja or the consumer needs?
I think ultimately leaders have to set the tone, but I think good leadership is about having one ear to the ground, which is one ear to your consumer. Actually more than one ear, both your ears to the consumer, because at the end of the day, as somebody said in marketing or in business, consumer is king. But I think the role of leadership is also critical because we all see the same trends in the market. And yet some brands are more successful than others. Some companies are more successful than other companies. And what distinguishes that is the leadership embedded in that brand or in that company.
Ma'am, how does one create trust in our customers?
I think trust is something that comes out of a continuous positive experience that consumers have with brands. Trust requires credibility. It requires the ability to deliver all the time, consistently. And so it is very experiential. It's also very fragile, which is that, you know, the more you promise and the more compellingly you deliver on that promise, the more likely you are to disappoint if you don't have that same standard of delivery every time. But at the end of everything, I think consumers, as we said earlier, take to brands and products that are relevant to them, that they believe that they can get something out of, and brands that are able to, in a sense, delight the consumer. I think delight really is a function of understanding the consumer, understanding the functionality of the product, and then doing something which is unexpected, which is surprising, but which is also relevant for the consumer.
Is it ever possible to say that you understand the consumer and his or her behavior?
I think businesses oftentimes get surprised because consumers don't always behave in predictable ways, or at least not in ways which are consistent with what they've said to you, let's say when you're doing research with them, as compared with what they do when you actually put the product out there in the market. And I think that is the true test of, we talked about leadership earlier. I think that is the true test of leadership. We are reading signals, we are looking at trends, we are seeing what else is happening in the environment. And I think the ability to coalesce all of these disparate signals into something which is meaningful for your product is what distinguishes leaders from followers. You have to understand how your product fits into their life, not how their life revolves around your product.
How does one create and maintain customer loyalty across generations?
You started your example with a Britannia Marie biscuit. And I think that loyalty gets created because you experience that in your household. So when you're running a household, you continue to buy those things. But I also think consumer tastes are changing. There are a lot of people seeking a lot more variety. But those products and brands that deliver uniquely on an experience are brands that consumers keep coming back to. So loyalty is, I like to think of it in terms of consumer preference. Given a world of choices, what is the brand that you would buy, or what are the brands that you would buy? And in some products, consumers want variety and they want choice, and it's okay that they're not buying only your brand all the time. But if they're buying your brand most of the time, that's a reasonable indication of loyalty as well. I think it's different if you talk about services. Let's say if you're in the software industry, or in any other B2B business, there you want your service delivery to be such that your customer doesn't look for anything other than what you're doing.
Man, who is the customer? Is it only the end customer, or is it the entire chain? And how do you manage and handle that chain?
Well, B2C business, obviously it's the end customer is the ultimate consumer, but you have a whole series of middle people you have to go through. But I think we have to say that who's the person who's ultimately going to pay for the product, and that is the final consumer who's actually going to use that product. And then you say, okay, what is my way of reaching that consumer? Do I have to go through distributors? Do I have to go through retailers? And those become very important stakeholders because they enable you to carry your product from your factory to the ultimate consumer who's going to pay for your brand. And therefore managing how you go to market and managing all the stakeholders in terms of how you go to market is also a very, very critical part of success.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been such a pleasure meeting you and speaking to you. Thank you so much.
Great, I enjoyed it too. Thank you.
In the happiness of the subjects lies the benefit of the king. And in what is beneficial to the subjects is his own benefit.
That's interesting. All the world is staged, Chief. And in spite of all its differences, it still is one unified master of each other.
Nice. Your Honor. How this place, man.
It's almost hospital chief, essentially a maternity one. A friend of mine became a father recently, that's why we were all there. It's a khatarnak concept, you know. It's like this doc who actually runs the place, he's taken elements out of the hospitality industry and he's created this experiential hospital. So when you land up there in a cab or car or whatever, there are these valets waiting for you to take your stuff up to the room. So that you're not falling all over the place while taking the pregnant woman to where she's due, you know. And apart from the place being squeaky clean, the main surprising thing about this place was it didn't smell like a hospital. It was a very nice and pleasant olfactory experience.
That's really cool, man. But you know what? I'm sure if my wife hears about this, she's going to want to become a mother again. Trust me.
And what I'm going to say next might make you want to become daddy again.
What do you say, man?
Yeah, unlike other hospitals, when a child is born, and if family, friends, or whoever comes to visit the parents at a meal time, there's a whole buffet laid out and everyone's served. It's like a celebration feast, chief.
You know what? I think it's daddy time. A very hungry daddy time.
So, chief, this is how you set trends, right?
Yeah.
Pushing the envelope. Like Miss Bali said, it's not about how their lives fit into your product or service. It's about figuring out how you fit into theirs. Delighting the customer, she said.
One doing whatever pleases him achieves nothing. Corollary to Yatha Raja Tatha Praja.
So how do you integrate that with the concept of consumer is king?
Look, consumer is king when we serve him, which implies that you need to have a consumer to serve.
Which is when we set the course to find our markets. He should secure an undertaking which requires less expenditure and yields large profits and gives him a special advantage.
Wow! Chha gaye tusi, chha gaye.
Quick, before we take a break. Marketing.
What was that gift actually?
As a globe and the mass, everything revolves, everything is inside. The world is your market. Quick, market.
Customers fragile.
Customer is fragile. How's customers?
Trust is fragile.
Customer trust is fragile. And how do you maintain that trust?
His behavior is unpredictable. You just can't predict the way he thinks or
Then how do you take care of a customer? Again and again. How do you build a brand?
that's a bad brand building.
What is brand building?
I mean, giving something to a customer continuously.
But
The
the
way
use of the
delivery.
how uniquely a brand delivers the experience.
So Britannia biscuit is a through generations. My grandfather had the same biscuit. Britannia English Mari or it is Mary. So I don't know if people know remember that. Britannia Marigold or Marigold. Marigold or Marigold. So through generations, barley. I don't know. My grandfather's father also used to eat barley. So that's a brand. And why is it brand? Because it's consistently delivering the same. What else? What else about the market? How do you align with the market? Market aligns to you.
Here to the consumer.
Here to the consumer. Okay. Feedback from the market. What do they want? How do you align?
So delighting the experience.
Customer delight. Achieving customer delight.
So what you have to sell is important or what the customer has to sell? What customer wants is important. So I'm making a product doesn't make sense. I don't know if you remember a few years, about 10 years back, there used to be a dabba which used to come and then you say you put any food in it, and there used to be a machine on top and it used to make the dabba vacuum, vacuum packed, and you can store that food for how many number of days you want because it's all vacuum inside. It came out as an amazing concept, but no one bought it. That product failed. And why did it fail? Not awareness. In India, how many people still
India it is not very frequent to store the foods in the fridge. That is the reason. In other countries, many people they store the foods and that is more
that's the point. So the product is right, but does the market want it?
Market needs is not.
हम तो सात्विक food. We want fresh food. We want freshly cooked chapati को तवे पे से गर्म नहीं बनाना चाहिए. We don't eat. I don't know how many people still eat that. None of us might have that concept of having refrigerated food, which is is lying for weeks and months together and then thaw it and then put it in a microwave and then spit it. We don't like it. It's not our concern. It's not the concern, it's not our weather. Our climatic conditions are not weather that we are suited for. What else? Market trust. What example he took?
It is a trend of that particular, what trend is right now going in the market. So basically, it depends upon that we need to develop our food or whatever the business we are in.
So what was the trend he spoke about? The example?
He says that you should follow the trend. Everybody follows the trend. But that is where the difference between the leader and the normal and the followers comes into place.
Yep.
Because with the information that they have got, how do they apply their leadership abilities and then cater to that? Is
What Vinita Bali meant by leader is not an individual, but the leader in the product leader. The market leader in terms of the product who's leading a particular market. So that's what, and as you said, someone who figures out what the trend is, designs a product accordingly,
information,
and then goes out.
analyze
First mover's advantage, you may call it. The leader has a first mover's advantage. They analyze the trends, they hear to the market, they come back, they develop the product that the market wants.
Actually, what the thing is that everybody has information, okay?
Yeah.
But what you do out of the information, what do you analyze, and what is the outcome that how do you interpret the information is what the leader is able to do.
Actually, how we need to give that importance to the people's life. We need to develop that product.
Yes.
Depending on the needs.
So what are we saying here? What we all are saying here? So information which is coming in, we are processing, right?
Respond to signals according
How
to
many
that
of us?
act, and then they said that though we have made the product, it is said, it is known, but still we have to keep on changing because changes.
It's
required.
changing.
That's what she
So a lot of people when they do the MBA or they go to an interview and they say, sell me this pen. Right? But then I say, come on pen, everyone is using a laptop now. So sell me this pen according to Arthashastra's philosophy might not be the right way of going to the market. Right? The way of going to the market is what does market want? Does the market now want a stylus or does the market want a pen? You go and listen to your customer and design the product as well. That's how marketing should work. Another example he took was of the hospital. What was the unique thing? I think the movie is old because now most of the hospitals are like that. Yeah? So what was the difference he said? It doesn't smell like a hospital.
the looks, the change, and it's like
hospitality industry got into hotel industry. Hospital. Yeah? So when the person comes as a patient, comes to the court, right? There are people actually valet who will carry everything for you and take you to the room, rather than the pregnant women falling around. That's what he said. So again, changes. Nowadays we go to most of the hospitals. Yeah, here there's a 5-star hospital right outside here. Most of the hotels are not up. That is what the market wants. The market is demanding that. So the difference in attitude is you don't sell your product. You make your product according to what the market wants. So we used to do a program which was 2 days, 7 pillars, done, complete, khatam. Right? Then people said, we want something which is a longer engagement because we want to have time which is more. Now, I cannot design a program which goes on for 7 weeks or 12 weeks, every day class. So we said we have the same program. But what we do is we put in bits and pieces, but we increase the engagement time. We meet every week. We still do the same thing. But we spend that time in between the weeks on reflecting, understanding what we are doing. So now that we are learning the 7 pillars, I would want every one of you to come up back next week telling me how the 7 pillars are implementing in your life. In your company, in your house, in your college, schools, wherever you are. How are those 7 pillars and who are those people? We'll pick up a few examples and we'll listen to people then. How are those 7 pillars implemented? Right? So,
we have the concept where market is ready for the product. Then again we have the acquisition efforts to say customer what he wants.
True.
Okay, so when this touch point was brought to market, customer didn't have this concept of touch point.
True.
So those are
missing an important point that there's innovation there. Right? And then there's a user experience which they are talking about. Market would have not demanded, but there's a user experience which they created, and then yes, there is something which can go on. So I would say there is an experimentation somewhere, there's innovation somewhere, which is in addition to just having a studio-like product which is going on. In fact, Apple has to launch a new phone every year in September. The reason being the idea is innovation. And something new. And you might not have anything new. In the last phone they gave me a fingerprint reader, this time they are giving me a face reader. So these are innovations. I don't know how many of us need a face reader. I got a joke saying that, this is a dangerous phone because your wife might just put the phone in front of you and your phone is open, so don't get it. But yeah, so I don't know. Are we willing to buy a 1.5 rupees phone? How many Indians would do that?
That's the reason they came up with the 8 and the X.
8 and the X. But I don't know, how many people will buy? A lot of people bought. 3, 4, 5, 6 lakh iPhone. Now is the challenge. We are waiting for it. Really?
Yeah. You still sell in black market at 1,50,000. Forget 1,50,000.
Food is.
I
whole logic. His son works with Apple.
Wow.
He was a part of the launch. You better be careful with it.
So are we buying an iPhone here? Okay, now the important marketing question. Are we buying an iPhone here because of the features which are we going to buy it because of face recognition or because of status?
Status, not value.
So what is Apple serving? Is Apple serving a product here or Apple like a status, right?
A social link. It becomes visible because we are.
So चाय की टपरी पे मेरे को 6 रुपए का कटिंग मिलता है. Again, the same thing if I go to Lands End, I'm going to pay 350 rupees for that. Probably the chai or tapri is much better and I love that chai more.
Somebody
If you all alone, you may have the tapri chai, but if you're somebody in the question of status, you could go there.
Exactly. So what I'm saying, what is the 5 somebody else said?
It's experience.
It's an experience, it's status. So what's Apple appealing to?
No, it's not just, I don't think it's just that.
It is not just that.
It's not just that. Because keeping the iPhone X aside probably, in a general iPhone which should cost about 60,000 rupees.
Yeah.
For a product of that quality, the only thing, the difference is 10%.
Yeah.
So if you want the same features in any other brand, so you're not going to get a 10,000 rupee phone with the features that a 60,000 rupee Apple is giving.
How many months or how many days I would say would it take for an Oppo to come up with the same feature?
Or a Vivo.
Correct, but they don't. No, the phones. But that's what I'm saying. You can't compare an Oppo in terms of the I'm saying in terms of the quality.
Perceptions, everyone.
I think the difference here is that to have one Apple, is an experience. But for people who would want to change every season, for them it's a status.
Again, we are looking at a product from an individual's point of view. When you're marketing, when you're selling, when you're creating a product to sell, you have to understand that you have to have a maximum number of buyers. Right? I could have run the program with 10 people buying it at 50,000 rupees. Probably I wanted to do that. But others have said, no, let's not do that. Let's increase the number of people. Right? My costing is not much going to make a difference. Right? But cater to a larger audience.
So that depends on the agenda.
That depends on the agenda. Again, as I said,
I had a professor who
it differs the people who are going to buy a Ducati as well.
Yeah.
The people who will buy a Lamborghini as well. Right? But then there are people who buy Nano as well. So again, what market you are serving, I did hotel management and my professor used to tell me, you want to sell 20 samosas or 5 rupees and make 100 rupees. You just want to sell one dish for 300 rupees and make 300. It's your choice. It's again a choice which you want to cater to.
Yeah, exactly. One professor told a friend of mine who makes switches, for example. He said you either make a switch, if the cheapest switch is for 12 rupees, figure how you're making one for 8 rupees, or figure and sell lakhs of them, or make something for 500 rupees.
As you go deeper into marketing and market, you will understand that it differs because the probability of failing with a larger audience is much higher as well. And the cost of developing a product with that kind of pricing is also very high. So you're taking higher risk in playing those kind of things. individuals will have individual capacities, individuals will have different risk capacities, every company will have a different risk capacity, and according to that what a product is designed and a call is taken in terms of marketing. Or a product designing to be precise. So if Nano as a car, when it's designed and the whole car to come out, it would be 300 crores, 350 crores to be precise. Right? But if develop a new product like a Lamborghini by itself, the product development cost by itself is going to be very high.
Exactly. You're talking about
So if the product fails, the cost which as a company I'm taking on me is much higher.
I thought you were saying the other way.
Here one more thing also, along with the status, every people is expecting the service because many people, the higher end brands, they give us the service more frequently and many people go beyond that.
But if you in today's market, competitive market, if you're not giving service, you're not going to serve.
Yeah, you're not going to serve.
She said that the experience which is there, and not only service once, ma'am, but service needs to go on for generations. Same level of service, service did not drop.
Apple is preferred mostly because it is a differentiator. It is no longer proving out to be now that every 4 out of 10 people are having an Apple iPhone. It won't have that kind of an appeal.
Yeah. See, Apple again is a case study. We can keep discussing that again and again. And there is a lot of wonderful. Yes, sir.
Yeah, one more thing what Vinita Mali mentioned is in the happiness of the customer lies the happiness of the
Praja Sukhi Sukham Rajyam, Praja Namde Hite. So, it's not only in the happiness of the king, customers lies the happiness of the king, but Praja Namde Hite, only in the benefit of the customer or in the benefit of Praja. Right? Let's not only take it from marketing point of view, let's take it from a kingdom point of view. Now, if we are saying this, Praja Sukhi Sukham Rajyam, Arthashastra mentioned it 2300 years back. Is that not a pure form of democracy? The people are not happy. Right? The king is going to go. So the king has to ensure that people are happy. What happens in the political scenario in present day?
Sonia
Government
Gandhi
comes
had to
in.
go. People are not happy. Sonia Gandhi had to go. Congress had to go.
I would refrain from taking examples because we might have, everyone might have their own biases. But then, in the pure form of democracy, what happens? If you're not performing, you're out. And what is the performance? For the people. For the people, by the people, of the people. That's what. So, Arthashastra spoke of similar lines, Prajapati Rajam, and he said, right? So, of people's benefit.
But are all the countries democratic? Because there are also...
That's what I'm saying. Even in a monarchical structure, where Arthashastra was 2300 years back, it was important that the king only and only and only looks into the benefit of the people. If you remember that...
Dictator will fall.
Yeah, he is saying that.
Yeah. Yes, if you remember that शिक्षक साधारण नहीं होता वाला वीडियो, right? तो तुम्हारे शास्त्र में मेरी क्या पोजीशन है इसमें ही आस? तो he says एक वेतन भोगी सेवक से ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं. Even the king is a salaried employee of the people. मैं प्रधान सेवक हूँ. Where does it come from? Where it comes from? Even the king is an employee. King is responsible. The chairman is an employee. Chairman of a company is whose employee? I'll come to you. Shareholders. So if the chairman of the company is not going to perform, then the shareholders will pull out. Aditya.
Even in like a communist country like China, there is a mechanism where the leaders, the 17 controlling families actually have an ear to the ground and listen to what the people are saying. Because if a revolution can be caused, then they can be installed, a revolution can again be caused and the ruling party can be removed. So China actually is still existing and with their present form of government because they are performing for the people.
Very good. Even the communist form, not only monarchical or democratic.
No, even if you go to a dictator, that applies.
Yeah, dictator. So in recent examples, we saw dictators thrown out. Right? So what happened in Egypt? What happened in Libya? The live examples against Saddam. What happened? And it is not that in a monarchy the people would throw out. There will be a foreign country who would come and slowly eat it if the people are not happy. So things, Arthashastra talked about all these things 2,300 years back. Obviously politics is not the subject we are here for, we are here from a business point of view. So market, if people are not happy, they're not going to exist. So king, the customer is the king. Customer is the king comes from this particular process.
There is a word saying pushing the envelope. So how we are going to link that with the market scenario?
Pushing the envelope might not. We see a product these days in the market. What is it that people, David Aditya, that fidget spinner. I don't think that is anything that then some koi production machinery में कोई bearing खराब हो गया and that is going to come and shoot. And now it is coming. I saw that thing with different designs.
Yeah.
And there was the whole stall I saw in the mall which had like 10-20 different designs of that. It is not going to last. Yeah? So that is something that's pushing the envelope. And that is why China, we at times call them, they use India as dumping ground. Dumping, anti-dumping laws and all that come from that point of view. All these things which you find on a railway station outside, एक 100 rupees का FM radio आता था, I don't know, it doesn't exist anymore. There are a lot of things we have pushed. That is, but it doesn't last. There is not a lot.
So Pulse is a pushing the envelope example. The Pulse, the sweet. I have someone working in that company. They got an export reject of the Jaljeera powder, and they said, "What do we do with it?" And they made Pulse.
Wow.
That's a real case study.
But then they made a big business out of it.
Yeah. They just had to dump it. They said, "Yaar, kya karenge? The export order is rejected."
So Jaljeera, again, how would I put it from a marketing point of view? This is a very good leadership example. From a marketing point of view, the product was going to a market which did not accept the product. But the same product where the market would accept it, वहाँ बिना marketing किए वो 300 crore का product बन गया. Right? Indians will have Jaljeera. वो भी अंदर वो green color का गोली के अंदर Jaljeera आता है. Yeah? So again, excellent marketing thing here. What first you selected a wrong target market. Target market was wrong in this particular case. In fact, ads go wrong like this. Surf Excel did an ad in Dubai, right? So they had a dirty cloth, right? And there is Surf Excel, right? And then there is a clean cloth, white or black. Right? That ad failed. Why? Ulta pada. People there like this.
South Surf Excel में डाला मिला होता.
So in market, you need to understand your market very well. Again, coming back to understanding the market. See, this is where a lot of when you talk to family-run businessmen, that's where people are in that mindset. मेरे बाप दादा ने ये product बनाया है. This is the industry that I am in. This is the product which I have, and I have to sell it. But you have to make those people realize that that is no more going to work. It's obsolete. बदलना पड़ेगा. You have to change with time. You might have the same value system in your business, but your product, the market, needs to be aligned.
It takes the brand image, what has been created by the brand.
Yeah.
But you need to change with time.
A lot of brands have changed with time, right? पहले Lifebuoy कैसे आता था, कैसे पैकिंग में आता था. Now look at Lifebuoy coming with different colors and flavors and क्या पैकिंग में लगे. The brand also has to change with time to survive it. So take a quick break. Washroom, 5 minutes. Then we listen to Subrato Bach.
त्याचे चार्ज पण कमी आहे.
ते बंद हो ते निघालं.
So let's see what Sudhir Bakshi talks and then we get it on discussion on infrastructure.
So the walkthrough from the entrance to here has been so awe-inspiring, and the first question that comes to my mind is, what kind of a role does this well-conceived infrastructure have?
Uplifts me in that instance. And I'm telling myself, I can walk.
Try resigning in the company and the next thing happens is your emails are blocked. Yeah? If you're working in a bank especially, if you press the resign button, half of things get blocked. It's interlinked. Data security. That's an infrastructure. Finance is emotional infrastructure. How do I feel when I go to office? Do I feel like getting up in the morning and going to office? Is it God doesn't feel like it? I'm sure God doesn't feel like God works 24/7. Yeah.
He works from home or office?
Well, his office is home. So, office address and home address same as a house.
Wherever available.
Wherever. Omnipresence. So, what is emotional infrastructure? How many of us focus on emotional infrastructure?
Not explicitly, but everyone, it affects everyone.
What is emotional infrastructure?
Like, if you actually, I read this somewhere, that McDonald's has the colors, like not as an employee, but as a customer. McDonald's has the colors red and yellow. Psychologically, these are the colors that will induce hunger.
Okay.
So when you go there, you automatically feel hungry.
Wow.
So you won't just settle with maybe a Coke or something like that. So you end up buying something.
Psychological. Wow, very nice.
So emotionally, psychologically, it will induce a certain feeling. Like you said, every 20 steps you'll have something to eat. You'll be happy. When people are stressed, they will want to eat.
So there he mentioned about something as salt lakes in the village. What are salt lakes? And all of our offices have a salt lakes. So these are unofficial meeting points. Sutta joint, chai get a break. Chit-chat corners. There are some places you might, those will be points which will be, suddenly will come up. You might not know the reason. Can you find out those spots and make it more nutritious, nourishing? How? By the thoughts you give them. Find out those spots, write a little painting there, put a little card there. Infrastructure again. So infrastructure makes one of the 7 pillars. When it comes to king and Arthashastra, infrastructure is important because the fortified city, the whole Janapada stays inside a fortified city. Fortified city has been taken care of. So we're just talking it from an IT point of view when it comes to Sudhir Bakshi, but when we get into infrastructure, we talk not only that but also your factory premises, the production, where the production happens, right? So your offices, your sales offices, right? Your godowns, your warehouses, these are all your infrastructure. We'll look into all those details and get into that. IT now is a new edition, that's why we focus on how it moves there. Next, most important thing.
Gift that will be
Key.
Ramdev Agarwal, Motilal Oswal. So finance is the most important part. Let's do that.
So Chanakya wrote about Kosha, that is treasury, as being critical pillar for achieving financial success. So you think that a leader should be nifty and adapt with finances, or the same level of success can be achieved even if he is not?
Business success is equal to financial success, or financial success is equal to business success. The whole core purpose of the business is to take a very small amount of capital or no capital to very large amount of capital or so-called wealth. The businesses are means to an end. At the end is always financial. Good financial management is 90%, 99% common sense and only 1 or 2% theory. Financial management is a very core of any businesses, and if you don't have one, by chance you are completely mad about say writing software programs or something, but you don't have any clue to your financial management. The best thing is to have a partner who is good at that particular thing, and he single-handedly takes care of the finance side of it. And if you don't have a partner, then the best is to hire a professional who is good at it, and don't involve this guy into software management. Take care, give him an objective that he takes care of the finance, and you have 100% trust in him.
For the first generation entrepreneurs, how does one build a significant and sustainable treasury base?
Every new entrepreneurial venture is a kind of a new canvas, new painting, and every painting is different. There is no set method of how we go from 0 to 100 or 0 to $1 million. And that's the biggest challenge of any new entrepreneurship. So when he starts, he has a huge intellectual capital. He has a lot of passion. He has huge competitive advantage in what he does. But he has very little capital or no capital at all. So how does he convert all intellectual competence he has into financial capital? All the successful entrepreneurs will have success, very high return in the early stage because base is very small and opportunity is very large. So, and then that's how in 4-5 years he reaches $1 million, and then he realizes that now he is there for good. His venture is not to be taken lightly, and he is taken a birth. The birth is not declared on day one. Birth is declared after 5-6 years, and he has earned $1 million without any leverage. So that day he feels, now I can replicate this from $1 million to 5 million, 10 million, 100 million. So the journey from 0 to 100 or 0 to first million is the most difficult, and it will always be unique for every single entrepreneur.
How do you get a grasp of what's happening in the business? I mean, if something is going wrong financially, how does one know?
So the easiest and the best way to know is what's happening to your cash flow. Because business is being done to generate more and more cash day in, day out. So you have your MI systems with the help of computers now. You can get daily MIs. You always have daily MIs, whether it is complete or incomplete. There are some heuristics on daily basis. Then you have weekly MIs and clearly monthly. Monthly you have to complete the accounts and figure out whether you actually generate cash or not. And if you have not generated cash, you must raise your bar and cut a lot of expenditures or whatever corrective action has to be taken.
So I guess businesses also have rainy days like today. How do you protect yourself? I mean, is there a mantra for withstanding and avoiding financial calamity?
Financial prudence is needed only in bad time, and it is practiced in good times also. So that if by chance next day, if the bad time hits, your fences are ready to take care of it. So you see in aircrafts, in bridges, there is always a extra margin of safety is always built in, and that is part of financial prudence.
So I've heard and read about some businesses that have achieved remarkable financial growth in a short period of time, whereas some have not. So what would those secrets to wealth creation mean?
Basically, there are 3 types of businesses: great, good, and gruesome. Great businesses are the one where you put money and it not only earns high rate of return year after year, but the rate of return keeps increasing. Good business is the one where rate of return is reasonably high, but to earn more, you have to put more capital. And really difficult thing to understand, and a lot of businesses are in that category, is the gruesome. Gruesome businesses are the businesses which either make losses, or in fact the bigger trap is when they make very small amount of return, say 3-4%, and your cost of capital is about 10%. And the businesses try to grow. So when you earn 3% and you want to double the profit, the amount of capital which is put to earn 3 rupees, you have to put 100 rupees. So you imagine what kind of capital loss or destruction happens in those businesses. So there can be business. Actually the business is meant to create wealth. But almost half or maybe even more of the businesses, they destroy wealth. And then there are two types of wealth created. One is the transient wealth created. You rise like big fire, and then you subside very quickly. And then the second type of wealth, which is truly wealth, is the one which moves up and they stay there. So the real wealth creation happens much more steadily, and longer it takes to create big wealth, longer it lasts. Start a great business, not a gruesome business.
All undertakings are dependent first on the treasury. Therefore, he, the leader, should look to the treasury first.
चुपचाप गाड़ी में बैठ जाओ।
जनाब उमेश,
यह सवाल सिर्फ मैं पूछूंगा। तुमने पुलिस को तो खबर नहीं की?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं। बस वो मेरा प्रोजेक्ट सही सलामत।
तुम्हारा प्रोजेक्ट सही सलामत है, उसे कुछ नहीं होगा। एक बार हम अपना माल लेकर इस शहर से निकल जाए तो मैं तुम्हारा प्रोजेक्ट मिल जाएगा।
हुजूर, इसकी क्या गारंटी की? मेरा
गारंटी? फाइनेंशियल सक्सेस की क्या गारंटी होती है? Let's have it. We just have a little while before we get to the airport.
We want to start off with a question. How do you decide on Xavier to handle finances? I mean, he's not a finance guy, right?
No, not by education. You know, Xavier has always maintained that finance is 99% common sense and only 1% theory.
You're quoting Mr. Agarwal verbatim. How are you doing this, Chief?
Eyes and ears in the sky, boyo. अच्छा चल ये बता, अब इसका actionable क्या है?
Actionable हम हैं. I mean, we've grown from 3 something to a 120 crore company in the span of 12 years. The right guy is doing the right thing. And Chanakya says that be ever active in the management of the economy because the root of wealth is economic activity. Inactivity brings material distress. Without that policy, both current prosperity and future gains are destroyed.
Absolutely. Well, having said which, it's not just about taking on more work just so that you build more revenue.
Not just in wealth management, but also in creation. But there's a lot more of match the columns between what Mr. Agarwal said and what you guys have been practicing for so long, and what Chanakya said about 2000 years ago. No, Chief, I think Chanakya is one of the earliest capitalists in our culture. I mean, he's one of Friedman ke baap ka baap.
Hey, ready for your thoughts?
I was just trying to articulate this, I think financial success is not the end of it all. The reason why we revere and respect some leaders more than others is their integrity. That radiates from their persona. And it also magnifies people's trust in you and gravitates them towards you. Then you're not just a business leader, you're an ideological leader. That's the real transformation stuff, isn't it?
You're onto something really special. Xavier will be really proud of that thought of yours. Okay, I'm about to reach the airport now, okay? You take care, hold on to that fort of ours, yeah? And listen, मुझे एयरपोर्ट छोड़ने के बाद सांप को संभाल कर ऑफिस छोड़ देना. It's precious cargo.
Boss, don't worry about my security. You know who I'm meeting next?
Who?
Shivanandan.
Top cop? Good for you, boy.
Alright, have a good trip, Chief.
Well, thank you so much. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh no, forgot to give this to Chief. Hey. Money कहीं भी अच्छा लगता है. क्या बोलते हैं money?
How many of us know how much money exactly you're carrying in your wallet in your purses? Anyone? Think out your wallet and tell me how much money you have exactly. How many of you know what is your exact outstanding as on date on your credit card? Is it zero? I don't have a credit card. How many of us at the end of the day know where you stand in terms of your monthly expenditure, earnings, or you're working, you have a company, what is your day-end sales, your monthly sales at the end of each day? How precise are we on handling? So are you in control of your finances? Ramdev Agarwal said MIS, daily MIS, weekly MIS, monthly MIS. Obviously quarterly and yearly to बताइए. I was working with NJ India Investments, one of the largest mutual fund distributors. And Neeraj bhai, in the night, no matter what time it is, he will not go home till the time his day end numbers are not on the system. If he doesn't have his total day end figures on the system. So he leaves the company only till he gets his day end numbers. So no one in the company waits till the time the day end numbers are not matched. That's where financial discipline, financial success. What else did you learn? Points, something new?
We talked about
Three types of businesses. Financial.
freight, food, and
Gruesome.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Gruesome had two types again. Three types of businesses by financial terms. Great, good, and gruesome. Great is something where you put money and your returns keep increasing. Good is still maintaining and you need to put in more capital to get more returns out. Gruesome had two types. Okay, one is where you're losing money. What is the other one?
Very small profits, high capital investments.
Yes.
So capital is greater than the.
Yeah, that's a vicious circle, and that's a danger. You feel you're making profit. You feel you're doing business. Orders are high, production is high, sales is high, profit is high. But you're making 3 to 4% profit. Does it make sense? And people get into those. I've seen companies falling, big listed companies going off because of this kind of an issue. Because they feel that they are making little profit, but what they do is they expand and they'll get profit of economics. So basically, they'll make higher profits by putting in more numbers. Doesn't happen. They lose a lot of capital. Do we know how much margin are we making on? What are total production cost? People have their own production. Do you know what is your exact production cost per unit? Is your exact production figures in place? Costing figures in place, so that you know what to price your product.
But many times the industries are playing the role where they can, the more the production they give the cheaper rates. And there are the
Law of economics. Economics of scale. Yeah, but then Reliance does that, right? Not only telecom, you go to textile, you go to any business, right? They'll sell something at a price the other can't manufacture. But is that a good business strategy or is it a good marketing strategy?
It depends. Yeah, it's a good marketing strategy, we can say, but because many times the higher productions we can fetch the better margins in that. Because there are certain strategies we can play it around. When we are getting the business higher volume, that time we can maintain our production capacity like such where we can save the money.
Can you put that in numbers and or can you put it in concepts? But Reliance doesn't, they have actually thousands of people working and then put that in numbers and put a graph and chart and say that, here, I'm going to make loss for 3 years. This is the amount of loss I'm going to make. But in the next 2 years after that, I will break even. So in 5 years, they will break even. At the same time, they would have killed the market in those 3 years as well. Not killed, actually kill the market. There will be no competition. Vodafone cannot survive the cost of Jio is.
E-commerce, for example, are suffering because of the recent second trade. They couldn't invest a lot of returns are good Flipkart, for example. Loads of money, in the returns are not good. Raise more funds again, dilute more equity. That's what is happening.
They're playing the valuation.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this startup bubble. Why? No one is playing a revenue game. No one is looking at cash flow. Everyone is playing the valuation game. कोई investor आएगा, पैसा डालेगा, I will remove my stake out of it.
Why do you call it a bubble? Why do you call it a bubble?
Because there is no logic, right? The fundamentals are not right.
Yeah, but they're playing passing the passion, right? Whoever, when the music...
How many passes will get passed? It has to go somewhere.
Music will stop.
That's right, it goes. Few passes will pass, not all. Sorry? Snap didn't survive. Again, they got an investor. But then they were trying to push it to Flipkart.
The owners got robbed. Owners were so in super bad condition when they got the final money in their hand.
Again, is Snapdeal playing a revenue game or Snapdeal is playing a valuation game? So they have the other person who is putting in money is going to put in money for valuation, or is also putting in money to get some cash flow.
Yeah, but then if some of the... I agree with...
Idea is to eventually go and list it?
No, I'm saying I agree. I have the exact same notion, but...
But then who is losing the money eventually? Where is the money coming from? Is the business creating money?
So, do you
How will it
think that
survive?
But some of the most intelligent, I mean, the fact remains that some of the more intelligent financial minds probably in the world are still putting in money.
Yeah, because they are probably trying...
With an expectation that there will be someone else who will put in the money.
Correct, that's what, so...
But that could also be that they are trying to kill, as you rightly said, to kill the markets. So people are getting
That is
into
what
the
Uber and Ola
online
did when
thing.
they came.
And then eventually they will probably raise the, like how Flipkart earlier
Is there a
used to do
hope
a lot
behind
of
it? Is there a cash flow behind it?
No, like Uber internationally also doesn't make money. That don't make money.
Yeah.
You don't. How many apps makes? We have like thousands of apps coming in every day. How many apps make money out? Everyone is expecting कोई angel investor आ जाएगा, someone will buy my. I will also be the next WhatsApp. WhatsApp sells data and the revenue models are different there, but what about others? So cash flow, what Ramdev meant was about cash flows. Check your business, check your cash flows. And in treasury, Chanakya says the treasury need not be full, it should be overflowing.
So WhatsApp never burned money also.
Sorry?
They never had a burning money model either.
WhatsApp.
Yeah, but there's a business model to it. There's a lot of data.
WhatsApp never earned.
No, I'm saying they never burnt money.
They never burn money.
Their business model didn't involve
losses.
burning money.
They need to have a team to maintain WhatsApp. Yeah, we can come into that in details, but we're talking of, in general, cash flows to a business. If there is no cash flow, how will the business go? So, anything else? Any other point?
WhatsApp as such had a very high infrastructural cost, while the profits it initially made were very less compared to the infrastructural cost. The servers, what they paid for having the security and their text messages in some. But they changed, but when Facebook bought WhatsApp, they changed the whole business model to using people's data. Suddenly you would find yourself chatting about something and Facebook would analyze it. Obviously it would be, the data would be made anonymous, but Facebook would still use that data to show you ads.
But then again, is it a cash flow business or what does it take up? We can get into specific case studies differently, but in general when we're talking about businesses, let's leave one business apart, but in general, any business you start, if it is not making cash flows and if you're only playing the valuation game, it's not going to last. No. Move on next. Shivan sir, ex-Minister General Police of Maharashtra, person behind it. Now, the book you all have got, it's co-authored Dada sir and Shivan sir. get to know more about his detail. He will come and he will meet children in certain persons as well. He will be one of our speakers. So he talks about the army, the team, 4 C's to manage.
When you manage a workforce as large as the Mumbai police force, how do you make sure that your ideals and your values percolate down the ranks? And second most important is that how do you make sure that these values are not just implemented but they are ingrained in the personal character of a person?
One thing is the role of the leader as a role model. The other way is to meet everybody and get to know him by face, and we have to communicate. Constantly we have to communicate, and communication, I would like to say, are 2 types. One is from the above to below and below to above. So I will say you have to be a role model, you have to be in constant touch with them, you have to communicate, and you have to empower, and you have to look after their welfare. The message given to the policeman is my leader is not one who is sitting in a room and giving only commands. He comes running to the field. So we are in the middle of a thick of an action, and you participate and look after and help, guide. It helps you. If there is a huge gap between the leader and the led, then there is a very major issue.
So when you manage a team as large as the Mumbai police force, how do you enable your team across various levels to take spot decisions so that the system functions well, internally and externally?
Well, there are millions of policemen. They are all controlled in a broad way by the Indian Constitution. Later on, they are controlled by the Indian Penal Code, then the Criminal Procedure Code, and various other laws and statutory regulations. The working is decided by the police manuals. So everybody knows that he has got a spot, he has got a job, and his authority, they are empowered by law. So that they can take a gun and wield it, and they can look after a small child, they can maintain law and order. All these roles are played in one sweep, in one day of work, you can do all that. For this, they are empowered by training and by the backing of the law. The man on the spot takes all decisions.
So as a leader, how do you inspire loyalty in your team?
The police loyalty means a lot. And in that sense, then we have to build up such a kind of loyalty to the country, to the constitution, and to the people, that a policeman should be able to lay down his life. The policeman is always charged about his commitment to do justice to the society, about his commitment to empower the poor who can't fight against the unequal people. And by doing all these things, the policeman does get a reward of recognition. More than the medal, more than anything, the adulation of the public, the appreciation of the public, and someone talking nice about them, writing a small story about them, does charge them. This is the motivation. This is where policemen even today are willing to walk into the fire without a bulletproof jacket or anything like that and lay down their lives. So empower them, educate them, give them enough resources, and stand behind them like a solid rock.
So how do you inspire the same kind of loyalty in a corporate setup?
In a corporate setup or a police setup or a paramilitary setup, by and large the loyalty can be built very easily by people having a set of core values and living by that. Even in a corporate setup like that of a commander or a commissioner of police, if the CEO is a role model, stands by the force and encourages them, steps in and steps out appropriately and gives the credit where it is due, pat on the back of a youngster and look after them in times of crisis, and when things fail, he takes the responsibility. When things prosper, he gives the credit to the others. By that, I know very many corporations where this kind of a loyalty has been built up over the years.
So building these values would mean that long-term investment in people. In today's environment, how does one balance because of shorter switching periods and higher attrition rates?
Whether people stay for the short term, long term, medium term, the investment has to be high. Whether it is a country or a company or a police or army, the education and the training we give to the manpower or the employee force has to be of the highest order.
So So this has been such a different experience for me to hear things from the side of my police force. I can't tell you how insightful it's been. Thank you so much for this.
The leader should allow unrestricted entrance to those wishing to see him in connection with their affairs.
Mr. Shivanandan spoke about the law, the constitution, the criminal procedure codes, etc., which is I think more specific to the police force. But I think codes of conduct are universal, and we all have our internal guidance framework, and each person knows what is right from wrong.
Agree. कार्य सामर्थ्यादि पुरुष सामर्थ्यं कल्पयते सामर्थ्यतश्च विभज्यामात्य विभवं देशकालो च कर्म च
अर्थात people who understand the rules should be pushed up the ranks and put in a place of influence.
Exactly the idea.
क्या कह के गया था स्कॉलर पुराना, कैसे है तुमको अपना टीम संभालना. Thank you. So man, why don't people understand the simple things? कुछ तो reason हो ना, right? And चीजें फिर भी simple है, very right. तो फिर मतलब problem क्या है? Exactly. No problem. Exactly. तो फिर why are we doing this? Exactly. Because sometimes you need to show people what they already know for them to know that they already know it. यार नहीं, I'm writing this down and putting you on it right now.
विद्यानां तु यथास्वम् आचार्य प्रामाण्यात् विनयो नियमश्च.
Chief, I can only see your legs. आपका कैमरा थोड़ा ऊपर हो.
Oh boy, अरे मनु तू अभी तक यहीं है? Sorry यार, late हो गया.
My pleasure, sir. ततो अन्यम् उपस्थापये कर्म निष्पाकं च. Thank you. Thank you. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, Manu. Good night. और बॉसी, what's happening?
Chief, एक चीज बहुत मेरे को लेट समझ में आई है कि सारी चीजें बहुत सिंपल है.
चलो, better late than never.
And all the people I've met, they've always kept it simple, yet not simplistic.
और souvenir number 6.
Yeah.
अरे वाह. So who's next?
When you're back.
Morning.
So, tomorrow then?
All right. Suspense, I see. Well, I like.
See you.
Last one before. London team. How do we differentiate between this one and this one?
Being a leader, as he said, that you should be able to communicate, I would say, give the roles, you set the goals, and you should know what you're doing, and they should be accepting, and it should be acceptance of everyone, and being a team,
Code of conduct, you work in a framework.
Sorry, sir.
This team has to work in code of conduct and framework of the
They have a code of conduct in which they
framework of the manager has to make the framework for the team.
Getting the work
Yes.
to be delegated to the team so that the person should get the work done.
Law and order. So manager creates the team and he creates the code of conduct for the team and he knows how he decides how he wants his team to function, and then he takes it backward from how they function and to which role has to be assigned to whom depending on how they perform.
So the this is my feet on street. When production, how my labor will working. Right? Anyone who is doing my work on production, sales team, like my admin team. These are the people who are working, actually doing the work. These are the forces that feed on streets. Salesforce, software with Salesforce. And these are the ones who will monitor them.
Every organization will have a principle on which they will work.
Right.
There are some who will say, I will go by the law, I will abide by the rules and regulations, the law of the land, whatever. There are some who will say, do or die, do anything, कुछ भी कर लेके आ, मुझे business चाहिए. So this is my focus. You get it how you go. Don't tell me how you got it. You told somebody. There are some people who will say, nahi, you will have to work within this framework. This is my code of conduct and basis you will have to work. And if you don't,
will do whatever they are asked to do.
And if they don't, then this is what happens. So that is the
So
benefit.
if they are asked to jump, to fire their jump, supposed to, right? They should be thinking, because now we all are knowledge workers. Everyone is a knowledge worker. Right? So these are the people who are implementers, and these are actual implementers. Probably this is my bottom of the pyramid. The most important. This is my base. This is where things happen actually. The value systems come in here.
And one thing for Amartya, it is applicable that where to participate and not to participate. Same principle applies over here also.
Yeah.
Sometimes he has to participate in that thing.
Yeah.
So,
He has to show how to do things.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to do things every time. Right?
Yeah, every time.
He doesn't sit on the machine and manufacture. Have you clear difference between leader, manager, and team? These are three human elements here, but there is a difference in terms of the way they are positioned in the organization. Final one, this is the Mitra. Oh, here? It is the hands, it is more of the army hands. So, arm forces.
तुम्हारी तपस्या से प्रसन्न हुए बालक, मांगो जो चाहते हो मांगो.
Took me some time to find the Chanakya closest to me, but I guess I saved the best for last.
सत्य वचन बस, सत्य वचन. Really, you should give yourself some more credit, young man. What you've done in 7 days would take weeks otherwise.
True that. Last week has been, let me round it up properly, eh? So, Victor, shall we get started?
Sure. But before you fire your questions, why don't you give me 10?
10? That's it. Sure. Piece of cake.
Fantastic.
Question 1. What is the role of a mitra, and how does it become critical to an individual and a business?
Well, a true mitra is a friend, philosopher, and guide. He's that one person who encourages you to learn to the best of your potential, so you can be the person you want to be.
So he is the proverbial mirror on the wall.
Mirror, and a bit more. You see, he is that special person in your life whom you trust to tell you when your breath smells without being offensive.
Well, it's actually my second and last question. In today's context of extended networks being the paradigm on which businesses work, how does one best manage one's allies?
Look, Amir, fundamentally the bedrock of any relationship is one must be worthy of trust, and one must be trusting of others. Be transparent. Be open to feedback, but the day one of the two equals believe that this is not working, jettison it. But hey, P.S. This is life, and life is short, so don't carry any grudges.
I took the liberty of breaking the format and got this souvenir for you.
That's sweet. Must say you're a step ahead, young man.
All undertakings must be preceded by consultation.
So you're in the elevator, right? Okay, so come up to the 6th floor, climb a flight of stairs, way up on the terrace. Alright. See you soon. Alright.
You're absolutely right on that project. The dimension was perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking to Ranjit also about it. And initially he didn't concur with me.
Hey,
But now maybe. Welcome to my den. On your way easily?
Yes. Hi, sir.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. Sit.
So this whole thing was a setup?
No, not quite. But yes, I mean, you figured it all out and got to Raba yourself. But I did tell you that I knew you were ready.
And you're right.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
So, Amit, so what was the learning? What did you make out of the whole thing?
Before that, let me get you a drink, okay? Shoot.
So, the leader looks into the future and sets the direction. Then, the minister, who's the anchor to the ship, steers the ship in the right direction. Then is the infrastructure, and in today's day and age it's both physical and digital. And it is the key to achieving the required momentum. Then is the finance or the treasury, which is the magic box, which fuels the vehicle. And we come to the army, that are the hands that work in sync to move the machinery tirelessly, and thus encompass the globe, which is a market. And last but not the least is the Mitra. He shines light when one is in doubt. He's shown you which paths to take and which pitfalls to avoid in his own strange way. You're absolutely right about him. And what was that?
Just that not only would you learn very well, but you would be the one to best deliver the construct we were looking for.
See, one day you told me that look for signs, that they had no clue. What are these signs? What are they made of? How do I find them? But, okay, one question.
What did I tell you about him and his question?
Basically, Manu was saying the other day, how you tell people what they already know so that they know that they actually know it. And that's all that they're doing.
Absolutely. No invention, only discovery. So, what was the question?
How far ahead is he? Quest for knowledge as well as practical application leads to self-possession, the real growth of one's life. प्रभु, no offense पर आप पे अंग्रेजी शोभा नहीं देती। आप प्लीज संस्कृत में बताइए, प्लीज। शुद्धार्थ ही प्रज्ञा उपजायते, प्रज्ञाया योगो योगाद आत्मवत्ता इति विज्ञानं सामर्थ्यं। वाह प्रभु।
Oh, Manu, come, sit. सही टाइम पर आए। ये अच्छा है। दोस्तों के साथ बैठकर खाना खाने का मजा ही कुछ और। Absolutely. What do you say? Shall we all move in for dinner? Of course, teacher.
Did you just say move in for dinner? I mean, no push-ups, pull-ups, skips, dips, etc., etc.
Sorry, I forgot. Drop down, give me 10.
Quest for knowledge as well as practical application leads to self-possession, the real goal of one's life.
Time to get our withdrawn moving. Get the final. So please.
So let's come to the last point, that is Mitra. As Pranav has been already discussing each of the
points. Sorry. So in this film, who is the... Hello? Put off the mic? Yeah, okay.
So in this film, who is the Mitra finally? The boss itself. That's why he suddenly realizes that I've been guided by somebody who is already with me.
And this is something that's very important, that we who are bosses should not be bossy. We should be able to be mentors to our juniors. And juniors should not look upon him as a terror. He is somebody who knows better than me because of his experience. If that can happen, we don't have to look outside. Okay, next learning. Don't carry grudges. See, he talks about today in this world of extended networks, we are actually not networking, we are over-networking, isn't it? Look at the number of WhatsApp, look at the friends that we have made, and how many WhatsApp groups and college friends and get-togethers and school friends, isn't it? So what he's saying, sometimes you have to look at friends from even project to project. It's very important, and if the project is over, be friendly. So what happens, you also have to move on. पहले के ज़माने में कैसा था, वो पार्टनरशिप लाइफ लॉन्ग होता है, होना चाहिए ideally, but it is not so. Today, if you look at the way people change companies, it's very fast. Maybe 10 years ago, it was only join the company, retire with that company. Very few people do that now. The next generation is saying that 1 साल CA में आ गया jump. I know people who have been working for companies for 20-23 years, and people wonder, क्या तुम नालायक हो गया हो क्या? The same way, today, it is not about just being in one project, multiple projects. So yes, it is not mitra, it is also mitras. It can be various friends. Okay, next point.
Feedback.
Huh?
Feedback.
Feedback, yeah. See, how do we get down to be at the level of learning even with our juniors? Have you heard about this 360-degree evaluation? There is this concept called yearly appraisals, yearly reviews of employees' performances. So suppose you have to give a rating and performance measurement to a junior, but your rating of your promotion depends upon the feedback that an employee gives about you, your junior gives about you. So it is not how good you have performed, but how good you are as a boss. It's called 360 degrees. You evaluate them, they evaluate you. So I think that the important word is feedback. And in Mitra, you don't say कि क्या करना है, सुनना भी है क्या करना है. Very important part. Anything else? Trust. It's not an invention, it's a discovery. Arthashastra was invented, it was discovered. Trust factor. I think between friends, between friends, between family members, between any relationship, trust is the main factor. And relationships get spoiled when there is a trust deficit. So it is not about money, it is not about whether the person is equal to you. Isn't trust tood gaya sab khatam. Transparency.
So you said that all people nowadays shift very often from companies.
Yeah.
So that is because there is lack of trust.
100%.
Lack of loyalty rather. So when everybody is not loyal now, so how do you deal with it?
In fact, we have here a man who's been with HDFC Bank for how many years now?
17 years.
17 years. One of the first team members in the initial process. And not that she can get another job. The thing is that please understand, as employees or employers, why are you shifting jobs? There could be good reason and a bad reason. There are people in villages who may not have opportunity, therefore they shift jobs and come to cities. But look at people in Mumbai. I think if they're shifting out of Mumbai, that should be a bigger reason than just jumping from jobs to jobs. We're already a good company. So yes, there were many factors including loyalty. But what is important is that what's your purpose in life? Even if you leave the company that you work for a long time, you can still be friendly with that company. How many of you are aware of this, that big companies, or rather I would say good companies, have employee alumni? You are aware of this concept? It is not school alumni, employee alumni. And one of the role models in the Indian industry is Mahindra. Anand Mahindra has got an alumni of employees, by the way. So if you leave also very good, chal aage badhna hai. But then be in touch with us. Maybe we can work on a project later on. And Anand Mahindra was once telling that one of the reasons for him to become global is because some of the employees who do leave and go still contribute to the growth of the company. So loyalty is both ways. I am loyal to the organization and the organization should also be loyal to me. अभी छोड़ के गया ना, दिखाऊंगा तेरे को. They will not give that testimonial. वो अपना पेंडिंग बिल्स नहीं क्लियर करते. What loyalty is this? There could be a genuine reason to move on. So I think trust and loyalty are two ways. How many companies would say, very good, great, you are moving on, I'm happy for it. If you need me next, I'll be the most happy for you to come back. Not as a defeated person. Let me give an example. One of my mitras, and he'll be coming here also. His name is Venkat Iyer. Very interesting person. So he was working and then he decided to become an entrepreneur. And you know what? When he went to his boss, it's a very interesting thing. I will make company chhod raha hu. Boss asked this very important question. Why are you leaving? He said, I want to become an entrepreneur. Good. Your first assignment will be given by me. Think about this. If you want to be an entrepreneur, it's great, it's good. I don't want you to fail, and the first assignment will be given by me. And he told, till you become successful, you can still continue taking salary from you on a monthly basis. True. What is loyalty? There is loyalty here. Isn't an employer-employer relationship? It's loyal to the person's purpose. बोला कि आपको 6 महीना और पगार देना तो लो, आपका धंधा चालू करो, पहला कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में देता हूँ. I think these are our dream leaders, isn't it? हमारे यहाँ पे छोड़ गया ना, मेरा सारा नॉलेज लेके गया, मेरा एक्सपीरियंस लेके गया. See, mitra is a very evolved concept. It is not about attachment. कि मेरे साथ टिके रहो. You move on to your purpose. I will tell you this. Once I was in Delhi, and there is this very, very evolved, mature lady, I would call her. And I was asking her, you know, how many people? She's got thousands of people who come, leave, and go. And I asked her, you train so many people, and then they go on, they almost become like a competitor. No, she told, I don't believe they're competitor, they are my extension. She told that these are my children, I don't look at them as an employee. And when my daughter is grown big, I want her to get married and make sure the other family that she goes is better than what the house I trained her in. So think about this, your employees are not your employees. They are part of an ecosystem where you are producing and sending them. So I think you have to be loyal to that also. Okay, we will end up with the last point if there is anyone feedback. Pardon? Allies management. There are too many allies now. Too many friends. So Swami Chinmayanand used to put it very nicely. You have to be friendly with everybody. But you will have you will be having a chosen few friends. You should be friendly with everybody. But friends are few. That's sachi baat hai. You can't say, no, I got 300 friends. And that's a Facebook story, okay? Even Facebook limits it to 5,000, right? See, friends, be friendly with everybody, but the fact remains that first take care of your family. You should know your family is the most important. Second is your friend circle, and those 10-15 people who are Mr. or Miss Dependable. Friends is not about the numbers, it's not a number game. It's a trust game. You remember that cartoon? Somebody must have forwarded you if not. So, there is this particular little child and a father had died. Okay? And it's a funeral. And the girl says, oh God, I have got 5,000 friends in Facebook and I posted my dad is dead, only one came. And the father's lot of friends came. And his sister was telling, at least you got one friend coming. So there's a generation gap, remember? When the father died, his whole friend circle is available. And there is no Facebook communication for them. But then said, नहीं, हमारा दोस्त गया है, जाना चाहिए. और इसको लगता है पोस्ट कर दे सब आ जाएंगे. Many friends, I think we have to come into the fact that social media is good. Social media friends are good. It's very, very important. Most of you are connected through social media also, right? But if I am able to connect to that person at an individual level, and that's friendship. And we'll come to that. So the best part about these 7 pillars that we are going to go to each of them in detail. The idea is that's an overview. Okay, any one closing line before we close up?
We a lot of we are self-employed.
Yeah.
Lot of we are from where we are self-employed.
Yes.
We are not big organizations.
Yes.
How to create this mitra?
Very good. Can I understand which business are you in?
The logistics.
Logistics. Okay. There are industry associations. Isn't it? Of the logistics, supply chain management के field में भी होंगे ना? I would suggest that you join such an organization. Where you have similar people. And I'll tell you, I know of so many small businesses, right? अकेले क्या लड़ना? Because it's so small. But when you get into an association, everybody has got the same problem. And you discuss those problems. isn't it? And you find the same solution for the same problem. हमको लगता है मेरा problem बड़ा है. You meet a friend and say, अरे मेरे पास दो ही problem है. GST is a common problem, right? And there's a common enemy. Never fight a battle alone. Take your friend along with you. Where do you find those friends? In associations, in groups. There are groups. Sometimes it's organized, sometimes it's unorganized. Every particular business has got an association. Huh? If it is not, you form it. And I've been addressing so many associations. And I'm so fortunate to tell you the kind of an association that exists is mind-boggling. So I was once called, and I love to understand this association, you know. And yours is the field. I can give you logistics. There are 10 associations in Bombay. There was one association that called me. मुझे ऐसा कैसे association है? You know what is the name of the association? Fountain Pen Manufacturing Association of India. Mumbai, sorry. Fountain Pen Manufacturers Association of Mumbai. How many of you have fountain pens here? Just raise your hand. Correct? One of you. I thought it is outdated and I thought this is useless. You know how many people were there? 600. Mumbai. How many? 600. And I was surprised. They told fountain pen is not a dead business. Huh? And by the way, this our brand ambassador is Amitabh Bachchan. Now, how come? They have so much money we don't realize it. You know, even that tip, हम लोग जो करते हैं micro tip, is also considered as part of the fountain pen industry. Join an association. Okay, we got time up. We already exceeded the time. I want to just tell you, love this movie. Oh, yes. We'll be having the producer of the movie also coming very soon. We're discussing about that later on. Yes, Sivijay. Okay, that's the last point. You have, if those people have bought the kit, okay, those people have bought the kit, it's a part of your movie. The movie is part of that kit only. For those people who want to watch this particular movie individually or own it, there are two options. You can go to chanakya.speaks.in and watch it download it. Streaming charges are there. Or I think 500 rupees में आपको पूरा DVD मिल जाएगा. If you want it, just tell me now or Pranav will get it for you. 500 रुपए का पूरा DVD आता है. You can use it for your training programs in your companies or at least keep it as a record. Okay, so that's it. Mitra, Swami Amartya Janapada Durga Kosha Danda. Mitra, any announcements? Please take all the books and especially bring it every time that you have. And especially when Shivanandan sir comes, please take an autograph from him. Read the books, you'll understand the science for us. Pranav, announcements?
In fact, the kit has this, all of them talking about it. So we have seen a clipping of each of them talking about their particular pillar. So the kit talks more in detail and has a workography. Just to give you an extension of what's over. Next week we meet for Anvik Chiki, so start with here. So that's the point. After that there's holiday because it's Shera. So then we meet in October. So there's one class in September now. And yeah, I know this was not planned, but yes, there is a traffic jam challenge which happens here. What I get to know is it will remain for another 1 week. So
no, today Saturday Sunday Mount Bay last month.
Tomorrow is last.
I checked up with the police department.
Alright. So there's a point, but 6 o'clock we try to start next week because now we got extended to 9:15 because we started at 6:30. So let's not get into this practice. I was said that people say that Mumbai में traffic है एक बोल दिया तो हो जाता है. Let's not get into that practice. So let's be on time and start it on time.
And on time.
We'll be for